Welcome back to the game. My Halloween 2014 playthrough of Fury of Dracula. We're about to see some action here. Dracula is now cornered in his castle. And he's either going to have to fight Lord Godalming or get tricky. Let's see which one he's going to do. We're going to move the timer down to midnight. So Dracula is now quite strong. I think that as far as just combat goes and upping the vampire count, we may want to try to jump on and bite Mina again. So I think I'm going to play my wolf form card. As you can see, the moon symbol there, this is only usable at night. And I'm going to spend one blood counter, as I did before. And this should allow me to move 2 spaces. You know, I've been rethinking this. Why don't we try something else? Dracula is at a definite advantage when he's in his castle, and normally you cannot stay at a location. You have to keep moving. However, there is a special card that Dracula has, and it's called Hide, and this can be played either during the day or at night. This card has the back of the other location cards where you would normally place an encounter there. But if you play it at Count Dracula's castle, it seems that you need to play this face up, because when Dracula is in Castle Dracula, he gets benefits. But the negative or the downside is he has to reveal to everyone that he's there. So how does Hide work with Castle Dracula? I believe that what happens is we're going to place this card on the track, and Dracula is going to remain in his castle hiding, trying to bring the hunters to him where he has the home field advantage, so to speak. So let's see how this works. Maybe the hunters will be foolish enough to enter Castle Dracula and try to take him on where he is the strongest. So let's see how that goes. So it is midnight. Dracula remains hiding in the castle. The hunters know he's there. No encounters are allowed to be placed, because encounter tiles cannot be placed at Castle Dracula. So what he's doing is he's just spending an extra turn there to get the power up for combat. So he's at full health, and we move to our first hunter, and he's going to move straight to the castle and try to take on Count Dracula. Good luck. Well, just as the combat is about to begin, the player for Lord Godalming is going to play Heroic Leap. You play this card when you're about to start a fight. The fight does not take place. Instead, both you and Dracula roll a die, and each of you lose health or blood equal to the number you rolled. If you are both reduced to 0, the hunters win. So Lord Godalming is trying to weaken Dracula here. So let's just see how much damage he does. So we'll roll 1 die. Lord Godalming doesn't get an extra die here. So it looks like Dracula took 5 damage and Lord Godalming took 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He put up quite a fight there. Lord Godalming is at 9 and he takes 3, so he's down to 6. Alright, well, Dracula didn't appreciate that. John Seward, isn't it John Seward? Dr. Seward is going to move here, blocking off Dracula's escape route. And it is a small city. Let's see, can't remember if he has any room in his inventory or not. The doctor had room in his inventory for one event card. It is a hunter card and it is forewarned. Play this and you can discard and encounter before you have to deal with it. Van Helsing is next. He's also going to move right there with Dr. Seward so that he'll have to take on both of them. Let's check his inventory. We'll get his tactics cards out. How many event cards does he have? He has 2, so he can draw 1. Let's let him do that. It's a hunter card. Sense of Emergency. Play at the start of your movement phase. Lose health equal to the number of vampires that Dracula still needs to win. Move to any location on the board. Alright. Well, here is Mina. And Mina is pretty upset at Dracula, so she's going to advance on his position. She's going to discard the fast horse to move an extra space. So I believe she doesn't encounter anything when she moves through the first city, so she could go either way and then end up at Count Dracula. So she's there. Now she's ready to fight Count Dracula. And she has something up her sleeve. She's got advanced planning, so play this card at the start of a fight. She's going to gain +1 to all of her combat rolls. So she thinks she's got this all figured out, but not so fast. Dracula. Dracula has a devilish power. Play this card to cancel the effects of an event card that was just played. So he used his powers to cancel her advanced planning. Both of those go into the discard, and now it is Dracula who remains with the advantage. Foolish girl, how dare you come into my house at midnight? Well, we have our tactics cards. I think that's all we have, our tactics cards or combat cards. So these are the ones we will use for this fight. And we will shuffle them up and randomly draw one, and Dracula's going to fight Mina. Now we already see here, just something I had to reference in the book, that Lord Godalming is there with Mina. So are they fighting Dracula together? Not yet. They need to start a turn fresh in the same space, and then they can form a group and work together in combat against Dracula. So right now we just have to imagine that Lord Godalming ran in first, had a fierce confrontation with Dracula. They both took damage. He was knocked back, and now Mina comes in, steps in between the wounded Lord Godalming and Dracula and tries to fight him off herself. So she's one-on-one now with the Count. Alright, well, the Count is going to try to mesmerize. You cannot play this card if you took damage during the last round of combat. And technically, he hasn't been in combat with Mina, so I think there isn't technically right now a last round of combat. If you get a bite result, the hunter must discard all of his item cards, and combat then ends. So he's going to try to mesmerize her and go for the bite. Let's shuffle her tactics cards or item cards. And let's pick the top one and see what we get. Ooh, we get Crucifix. That may have actually been a very good draw. So one-on-one, Count Dracula is going to get +1 to his roll. Well, it doesn't matter. Actually, Mina wins that confrontation. So, Mesmerize. Interesting. What happens here? We've got a weird symbol that I'm not familiar with. I'll have to look that up. I wonder if it means that basically nothing happens. He tries to mesmerize her and she backs him off with the crucifix. No, it's a little better than that. It's Repel. Dracula can only play one of these cards next round. Dodge, escape as a bat, escape as a man, escape as mist. Note that he can still only play escape as a bat or escape as mist if it is night. I really wanted to take her out. Dodge is okay. I might play that one. Alright, next round of combat. We're going to play Dodge for Dracula. He's going to try to throw his arm up with his cloak or cape over his arm to shield himself from the crucifix. Let's see what Mina does next. She has escape. This is weird. Dodge versus escape. Dracula gets the +1, so he's got a 5. So what happens here? Well, against escape, the combat may be over. Well, that's a surprise. The combat ends. Mina backed him off. So nobody got hurt. They're just going to have to continue to slug it out at another time. So we'll put both of these figures back at the castle marker. And that's what happened at Count Dracula's castle at midnight.